We're good. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Riverdale City Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, December 14th. I'd like to show all the commissioners are present with the exception of Chairman Spires and Commissioner Anderson, who are excused. Public comment, since there are no members of the public here, we're going to press on. Presentations and reports, Mr. Eggett.
Thank you. I'll do this a little quicker, but still hit the points from the work session. Raising Cane's will be hoping to open ribbon cutting and grand opening on January 11th at 8:30. Take 5 and Now We Know Fizz will be moving to the city council at a future date, sometime in January, hopefully, per their direction. And then Cheddar's is going to the city council for final site plan approval consideration next Tuesday night on the 21st. I did note also as part of the work session that we did submit for a planning grant through Wasatch Front Regional Council to assist with the general plan. That has been fully submitted, and we expect to hear back from them hopefully by the first of the year if we got that awarded or not. And then we'll work through matching that and move forward with professional assistance and guidance at that point if we get it awarded. I did fail to note in the work session, but I will note now, we also have an annual, per Senate Bill 34, an annual reporting requirement for housing in our community. I have completed that report. That report is available on our city website through the community development page if you're curious to look at it. It may be worth looking at it. It's kind of dry. I'm not going to lie. It may not be your most favorite time to read it, but it may be insightful and informational to kind of see the progress that I've noted and reported to the state as far as where we are with our housing from where we were a year ago. We do look favorable. There is at least enough in there to show that we're making progress and efforts in compliance with those things the state's looking for now. Is it maybe on the hyper level the state requires? I don't know. Given what I said in the work session, you can imagine how they probably see the world. So unfortunately, they're not willing to be patient and let things happen, is my personal opinion, but that's as far as I dare go. If you want to hear what I really think about it, feel free to get me after the meeting and I might tell you more. So we'll leave it at that. That being said, those are the reports I have at this time. We do have potentially forthcoming, speaking of which, like I stated in the work session, a potential subdivision project up on Ritter Drive, depending on what happens with this property and this rezone at a future date, as well as potentially a housing subdivision project forthcoming around Lowe's and Bed Bath & Beyond at a later date. But I have talked about that in the past, so I anticipate both those coming at some point within the first quarter of 2022, though. So just kind of something to look forward to there. And with that, I think that's everything I'll report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eggett. Action items. Discussion regarding proposed rezone request for properties located at approximately 1570 West Ritter Drive, Riverdale, Utah. Mr. Eggett.
Thank you. Again, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. This is being sponsored by Riverdale City, as noted in the packet in your summary. There's 2 properties designated at this address. The address specifically is for the bigger property. The secondary property, it's 0.03 acres, is a little strip of narrow property just to the east, skipping a roadway, and then it's there. It's a little strip that you can see on the map. The 2 properties together comprise 0.27 acres of land. The bigger property, the 0.24 acre property, was once a residential property, since has been demoed. The portions of the property that were needed by the city to widen Ritter Drive and improve Ritter Drive for full use, a sidewalk, curb and gutter, and the road itself, have gone in, and we have properties to dispose of that are left over as a result of that. And actually, now that I think about the 0.27 acres, that would actually be slightly smaller, taking out the right of way. But at any rate, those properties have been scheduled for disposition by the city council prior to this hearing, and city staff has been directed to move forward with the rezone process thereafter. As required by state code, we are required to schedule this for a public hearing to allow for public commentary. And as noted during the work session, the public hearing date options would be either December 28th or January 11th as the next 2 available meeting dates. I think that's right, January 11th. Does that sound right? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not saying that, and then you schedule it for a date that happens to be a Wednesday or a Thursday. But now I think about that's the date of Raising Cane's, ironically. So yeah, it'd have to be January 11th. So anyway, January 11th or December 28th are the options that you'd have available at your disposal. You can see thereafter in the executive summary, the general plan guidance for this section is residential low density, and R-1-6 per the general plan is recognized as residential low density use designation. There's the map that I've provided, the responses on behalf of the city indicating how it would be in compliance with the general plan to consider and approve the rezone, were the rezone to be approved or recommended for such by the planning commission at a later date, obviously not part of this hearing. Thereafter, you'll see the county tiles and the legal descriptions for the property. And I think that's a good enough summary, and I'll turn it back over to the commission if you have any questions for me at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eggett. Any further discussion? Mr. Jones?
I'd like to make a motion that we set the public hearing for January 11th for the rezone request from agricultural A1 to single-family residential R1-6 zoning for property located at approximately 1570 West Ritter Drive.
Do we have a second? Michelle, would you poll the commissioners?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Public hearing is January 11th, correct?
Yeah, and I would like to just note out that's 2022 for anybody who may be watching.
2022, yes.
If I had said
I
it,
just thought the January, just because
you're fine.
the holidays will be over with, and then we'll have a better
I just want to make
turnout,
sure.
I think, for the people.
I don't think I ever said 2021, but in the event that I did, I want
Just
to
in
clarify
case,
it's
yeah.
2022.
Because then the public, if they want to come, it'll be easier for them, and it'll also
I agree.
be a
The
better
holidays make it
attendance
hard.
from the commission itself too. So
Especially with how close it is to Christmas being that Saturday before. Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Comments by any planning commission members or city staff?
I've covered everything I need to. Unless Michelle has anything, I'm good. Thanks.
A motion is in order to adjourn?
motion we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.